with silver prices skyrocketing, a lot of people might feel like they missed out on a chance to invest. But in actuality, silver still has a lot more room to grow. Uh, I remember vividly about 12 months ago, I was more so heavily stacking gold, but I can remember going in the store and you being able to grab about 4 ounces for just a little bit over $100. 4 ounces of silver for just a little bit over $100. Fast forward 12 months later, $100 is gonna get you about 1 ounce of silver. And that's kind of crazy. But with that being said, a lot of people might feel like they missed out on a train over the past year because they haven't had a chance to invest in silver over the period why it was skyrocketing. Now, like I said, we're at about 90. It's fluctuating from 90 to 95 bucks an ounce right now, which I do expect it to probably hit about a buck 25 before spring. Honestly, just at the rate it's moving. But with just seeing all of that, I can see why people would be discouraged. But like I said, there's still more room for silver to grow. And now with silver being somewhat unattainable to the masses, there are still ways you can invest in silver in smart ways, in ways that you're not just wasting your time or your money. So right here I have what you can call, I guess you could say this is all, you could call this all fractionals, right? We have 2 half ounces right here, and then on this side we have some constitutional. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about the differences between these 2 half ounce rounds and this constitutional change, which is both a decent go-to. In my opinion, one is better, but everybody has their own way of thinking and doing things. But in my opinion, I would say the the pure silver rounds are gonna probably be the better way to go, especially if you're stacking just to get what it weighs. You're not a collector, you're just stacking just to make a profit. You want to capitalize on your dollars, you know what I mean? So I would say the rounds, and I would say that because not too crazy of a premium unless you're going for the ones with the aesthetic and whatnot, but your junk rounds are pretty much gonna go for a decent premium depending on your dealer. I have a pretty decent dealer, and they don't want to try to break the bank on every customer, so you can get them for a very, very decent premium up there, very low premium. On the other hand, you have your constitutional, which is also typically known as low premium as well, especially like these mercury dimes right here. I got these for a very good price. I got a lot of those, but typically right around spot if you break it down. But on the other hand, you do have your constitutional that does come with a lot more higher premium, and it is because these coins are actually government backed. So when you know what you know about that, it usually comes with a bit of a higher premium just because it also has a face value, which could actually be spent in the store versus this round. You can't just go and spend this in the store. You know, you'd have to turn this into a pawn shop, a coin shop, or a refinery to actually get what it's worth. So, yeah, but I started off when I first started stacking silver. Like I said, I was more so into gold. So when I was doing silver, constitutional, because that's pretty much all I knew, just constitutional. And it's not a bad pickup. I don't knock anybody else who does the constitutional and whatnot. Every pickup is a good pickup as long as it makes sense. You don't never want to get overtaxed. You don't want to spend too much on a premium unless you're some sort of collector. You just do it for the aesthetic and the love of it. If that's the case, hey, fair game. I don't blame you. But for all my real stackers, you want to get as much as you can get out of your stack. Stay away from the high premiums. Stay away from the coinage that just serves your stack no purpose. Like, we're not looking for colorization, the cleanest one. By all means, if you see some clean generic rounds and whatnot, grab them. You know what I mean? I want to see some of the cleanest ones in my stack too, but I'm not walking back into the store looking for a higher return based on how clean my round is. I'm only looking for what it weighs. A lot of people get it confused with this constitutional as well, because they tend to think that just because this dime or this Morgan dollar weighs what it weighs, then that's what it's worth. Not really realizing that just because this Morgan dollar weighs 24 grams, that doesn't mean you have a full 24 grams of actual silver content. Now, you would have to do your due diligence to break down the actual silver content of this coin to figure out exactly what it's worth, versus these rounds right here, whether you have a half round, quarter round, or a full round. You pretty much know what you're getting out of it. 999 silver, that's pure silver. 99% silver. You know what you're gonna get out of these rounds versus this constitutional. You do have people who pretty much have this down packed and they know exactly what they're gonna get out of the constitutional. But for the most part, you have a lot of people out here who don't really understand the game when it comes to silver and how things work. And when they go and look for these returns, they end up being disappointed because they thought they should get more for their silver than what they got, not really understanding that it's all a game, man. You got to know. You have to know exactly what you're talking about when you go in these dealers. So with that being said, man, I don't want to drag it on too much longer, but with silver skyrocketing and the prices almost being unattainable, there are still ways to invest in silver. Just make it make sense. All right, that's it.